The goal of this video is to be the most clear and concise video on the internet of how to play pickleball with scoring.
It's our goal that you can show up to your local courts, pull up this video, and learn how to play the game of pickleball in under 5 minutes.
And be sure to save this video or send it to a friend who needs to learn how to play pickleball. Let's get into it.
The pickleball court is divided into these sections. We have the baseline, the sidelines, the left and right service box, and the 7-foot area in front of the net, which is called the non-volley zone or the kitchen.
Each rally begins with a serve. The serve must be underhand and go diagonal into the opposite server's box. If the serve lands in the kitchen or hits the kitchen line, it is out. If the serve hits the baseline, mid-court line, or sideline in the opposite server's box, the serve is in.
After the serve, the returning team must let the serve ball bounce before contacting the ball, and the return can land anywhere on the opponent's side of the court.
The serving team will always serve the ball with both players back on the baseline, and the receiving team will be staggered with the player receiving the ball back and their partner up at the kitchen line. Remember this tip: serve and stay, return and run. The serving team will serve the ball with both players back to let that next shot bounce. The player returning the ball will return and run to the kitchen line to meet their partner at the kitchen.
After the serve and return, the players will be positioned like this: serve team back, return team up at the kitchen line.
The serving team will use the third shot in the rally to try to approach the kitchen line, and the returning team will try to keep them back. This is because the kitchen line is the best place to play on the court. It's where most of the points are won.
Once you get through the first few shots in the rally, it's common that all 4 players will be positioned at the kitchen line like this.
Here it's important to understand the kitchen rules. Now remember, this kitchen is also referred to as the non-volley zone. That means you cannot volley the ball or hit the ball out of the air if your feet are in the kitchen. If you're behind this line, however, you can volley that ball out of the air, but you must avoid striking the ball and letting your momentum take you forward into the kitchen.
You may notice players hitting a shot called a dink when they're at the kitchen line. This is basically a soft shot that's unattackable, meaning the opponents can't attack that ball out of the air or off the bounce. Players will often wait for a high ball that they can attack or a dinking error from their opponents.
Now let's quickly break down the scoring. Points are won if the opposing team hits the ball into the net, out of bounds, or if the ball bounces twice on their side.
Before you serve, you have to call out the score in this format: your team's score, the opposing team's score, and the number server that you're on.
You can only score a point in traditional scoring when you're serving, and both players get a chance to serve on your team before the ball changes sides, which is also called a side out.
After the ball switches sides on the side out, the server that's on the right side facing the net is server 1, and the other server on the left side at the start of the rally is server 2. If the serving team wins the rally, the servers will switch sides and the same server will continue to serve.
If the returning team wins the rally, the ball will be passed to the other player on your team, who will be server number 2. They will then get a chance to serve. Once server number 2 on your team has served and the other team wins a rally, the ball will go back to them and they will get a chance to serve. So now let's look at an example. Let's say the score is 5-3. The first server will be standing here in the right service box, and they will first call out 5, their score, 3, their opponent's score, and then 1, the number server they are. So let's say they say 5-3-1, they serve the ball, and they win the rally. Now they're gonna switch sides with their partner, and it will now be 6-3-1. If they called out 5-3-1, and they lost the rally, the ball would change sides, and now server number 2 would call out 5-3-2. Once the serving team has lost 2 rallies, the ball will change sides for a side out. The other team will now be the serving team, and they would call out 3-5-1.
The only exception to this rule is at the very beginning of the game. The game will start with the right server calling out 0-0 server 2.
And the last thing you should know is you play to 11 and you must win by 2. Be sure to rewind this video if you need to watch any parts. We'll have timestamps on the video. Let's play pickleball.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the PlayPickleball.com YouTube channel.
And we'll see you on the next one.